Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Shimanami Tasogare, Volume 2. So we're starting off with, I believe this is the boy at the end of Volume 1 who kept saying, oh, so you're gay, to, our main character whose name I've forgotten already. I'm so glad that it's in, like, the first page of Chapter 1. Yeah, Tasuku, that's right. Yeah, that's definitely, that boy. And then he's putting lipstick on who I assume is the girl from, like, the first color page. Uh, yeah, this girl. I guess, yeah, she's wearing a sailor uniform. She's wearing something else, but I mean, like, obviously they could be changing outfits. Um, so first volume was amazing, genuinely amazing. I'm going to try and talk about the actual volume in this reaction instead of my entire life. Ooh, okay. See, I don't know if this is the same person as this person then. Like, it could just be like growing out her hair, but it could also be two separate characters who both have the same distinctive hair, though. Although her hair has these, like, green bits in it. Whereas in this one, did she? Not really. Yeah, we had this amazing scene where, like, he was pulling out the nails, and he finally managed to admit his feelings. Not to him, but just to, like, anyone in general. He was able to let it out. Like, what a powerful moment. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay, yeah, so this is the boy, and then this is, I assume, the orange-haired girl. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, he's, like, he definitely hasn't, like, come to terms with his situation yet, but he's somewhat broken free. That's a good way of putting it. Oh, okay, so it isn't two separate people. He cross-dresses. That makes, okay. Oh, and that's why we would have the differing hair lengths. They'd be, like, just, two different wigs. Oh, okay. Then that was the girl who, the introverted girl, the one who was just reading while everyone else was, talking to Tasuku. Okay, you're in the way. Okay, Shuji Misora-san, a sixth grade boy who dresses as a girl. Okay, and also he seems to identify as a guy, at least right now. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, right. I only do this here. Yeah, that's right. So that's why the storage room here is, Misora's personal closet. Like, it's the only place where he can cross-dress. Right. I can definitely relate to this. I look real not great right now, but when I was younger, I cross-dressed really well. Like, before puberty hit me like a freaking brick. I was androgynous enough that I could cross-dress and I could pull it off pretty well. And it wasn't like, I'm not trans. And I don't think he's trans either. And, like, he's not doing this for anyone else. He just enjoys cross-dressing. I can definitely relate to that. Have you had sex with a guy? So forward. Don't use the word homo. Okay, fair enough. Oh boy. Okay, that's fantastic. So intensely forward. Yeah, this is a real awkward situation. Some music might help, honestly. It really might. Oh man, Misora is such an interesting person. Like, yeah, he is a grade schooler, so he wouldn't really be into, like, he wouldn't have a romantic interest just yet. Like, the way he gives advice is so infuriating in a way that I can, like, I definitely understand it. That feeling of, oh, I know so much even though I'm a kid who hasn't, who doesn't have any practical experience. Because that is a really tempting thing to have. Like, this idea of just like, well, obviously this should work out this way. Why don't adults understand? I really like that they're bringing this up. Like, yeah, he's not gay. He just likes to cross-dress. Likewise, even just because you're gay doesn't mean you want to cross-dress. They're two separate things that may or may not be connected in one individual person, but they don't have to be correlated at all. Oh, this is really cool. Like, I'm super interested in, like, what is Misora's reason for cross-dressing? Like, is there a deeper reason, or is it literally just like, well, he likes women's clothing? God, the first time I had a Ramune, it was the worst because I could not push it down enough because, I don't know, I guess I'm a person who does a lot of half measures. I did not have the physical capability to push it down. I had to ask someone else for help, like, hey, can you please help me open up my pop? But why is he upset about that? Like, yeah, I think that's fine. It's a very lukewarm answer, but there's nothing wrong with it, right? Also, I haven't really mentioned this before, but I really like how the series manages to make you feel confused the same way that the characters feel confused about various things. I never get the sense of, oh, I'm completely lost, but I shouldn't be lost, or this is something where just the viewer is lost. Whenever a person's actions are confusing or like not completely understandable, it feels so very natural. Like it's someone who you know in real life who just did something and you can't ask anything else of them. Like you can't clarify, so you're just like stuck there confused. That's a very hard like line to toe, but Shimanami Tasogare has been amazing at it. Oh man. Okay, this is good. This is pretty good. Small talk, you're doing it. Uh, I want to, as long as it's something I can do. I love this sequence. Like, this is the kind of series that if I wasn't doing reactions, I'd probably just be like, I'd probably spend like 10 minutes on each page, or not 10 minutes, but like I'd probably spend like a good 2 minutes on each page, and I'd be like dead silent throughout it because I am just blown away by the emotions that are being like just displayed on the page. It's a series with a main character who just does not commit to things, but at the same time, because he doesn't, like, I never have the sense of, oh, I'm so angry at you because you won't do this. I always understand exactly what he's feeling. I always understand exactly why he doesn't, commit to a certain action or why he feels like he can't do something. So it sounds like he has at least two sisters. That was, okay, that was pretty aggressive, I suppose. Oh, that's a fantastic metaphor. He doesn't have a girlfriend, but he must have someone. You just use common sense. That was also like I never really gossiped in high school, but there was always that sense of, oh, if someone's not taken, or if you don't know someone's taken, there's some people where it's like, well, obviously they're in a relationship. There's no way they're not, even if they never say it. And in hindsight, that makes no sense whatsoever. It makes absolutely zero sense. I literally just made the connection of there are goldfish in the goldfish in the classroom and then the goldfish bowl here. I don't know what it could be a metaphor for. Like, I assume that the cats are supposed to just be generally this feeling of freedom. Or I guess like this feeling of anonymous, I guess. Like it's her like do whatever you like nature. Just kind of personified as all the cats in the series. The goldfish, I suppose, might be not isolation. I don't know, like, a goldfish bowl seems negative, but at the same time, like, both scenes we've seen with them, or, like, all the, scenes in here and then that one scene in the school were very positive scenes. So I guess, like, the goldfish bowl could be, I guess, this house? Sort of? Like, a place where you can be free, I suppose. Actually, yeah, like, it wouldn't have to be the house specifically, just a place where you can be free. Like, when Tasuku and, what was his name? A popular kid. When they were by the goldfish tank, they were both free to speak however they liked. And, Tasuku was free to confess or to even say, like, hey, I like you, or even to come out, but he didn't. And I understand why he didn't. Like, that would have been a real weird place to do it. But, like, it was that sense of freedom of just, like, well, there's no reason why I can't talk to this guy, even if he is super popular and, like, super handsome and whatnot. There's nothing stopping me from saying hi or just, having a conversation. In the same way, this house is like it's a place where no one's stopping you from talking to anyone else. I really do like Anonymous. Like, yeah, she's just here to foot the bill. The ultimate mysterious rich person. Like, it seems like she's having a good time at the very least. But like, it isn't. She never really has like a good time in the sense that like she goes out and does stuff. She's no Haruhi Suzumiya. It's more just like she enjoys being able to come here and do whatever she wants. And the fact that other people are also there is like just it's a bonus. She's amused by it, but they're not there for her amusements. So much blushing. I'm gonna go change. Just stay there. It's too casual, right? It's way too casual. So I'm really interested now. Is he gay? Like, I don't think he is. But I think his thing about not cross-dressing for other people is a half-truth. It like he does cross-dress for himself, but I think he also wants to share it. Like that's why he's trying to be like a tiny bit antagonistic towards Tasuku. He wants Tasuku to like pay attention to him in his outfits and whatnot. I have something to talk to you about. I'm not sure if this is a good idea though. Like they had like not even in like a relationship sense, but just in a like I guess to be fair, I've rarely ever brought people over to my house. I did it once, I think. I know I did it exactly once in high school. I don't know if I did before high school at all. Most of the time I just went to other people's places. But like I don't know how my parents would react if I brought home like a grade schooler. That would be so awkward. Uh he's my friend. Yeah. Is he just into the same stuff as him? I suppose. Wait, is he in junior high? I guess he could be like splits. Like, I find it very hard to tell people's ages in series. So, I mean, they said or not Tosca, but you know, they said he was a grade schooler before, but I guess like he could be right on the cusp of grade school to junior high. In that case, it would be a little less difficult to understand, especially if it's like, oh well, maybe he hasn't hit his growth spurt yet. Like that would make sense, I suppose. Huh? Yeah. I didn't think about it, but I guess he does like a lot of like occulty stuff. That's interesting. Okay. You washed my hands or throw them in the wash. Oh. Okay. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, and if he has two older sisters, then like I don't know his parental situation, but if it's just two older sisters, it'd be real hard to explain that. Okay, dad isn't around. So yeah, only women, literally only women. But he doesn't cross-dress because his house is full of women. I think that's really cool. I think that's yeah. Like again, it's literally this: are you gay because you have a brother? Like it's very easy to rapidly assign that cause and effect just because it's there, but that doesn't mean it's actually true. I really do like how the series immediately brings up stuff like that and then immediately shoots it down, or at least like addresses it. It doesn't necessarily have to shoot down obvious things. But as long as it addresses it, I feel like that's I don't know, I just really appreciate that, I should say. I'm wondering if he's starting to experience dysphoria. Okay, I can definitely understand this. This feeling of like, well, not even dysphoria, just this feeling of like, well, I don't know. I legitimately don't know. No one understands anything about me. Yeah, for once in your life, you've got to reach out to him, Tasuku. You've got to reach out to him. You can't let it drop. Also, again, fantastic metaphor. Like, again, I guess this is also like, I think I'm correct. I think I'm correct in that the goldfish symbolize like a place where you can be yourself. So we've got like the goldfish around him, but he's isolated in, this glass. He can't, right now he's about to leave Tasuku's room. As long as he's in this room, he can be himself. It's Tasuku's responsibility to keep him in this room. Okay. He wants to live with a girl, and she likes guys. But it's not like you want to be a girl, so I guess you're not like her, Misora-san. Okay, so, yeah, so this is a trans girl. But I don't know if it would make sense for Misora to, like, hang out with a trans girl if he is. I mean, there's no reason why you can't. I really do like that they're going into how, like, difficult it can be to classify oneself. Right, it's the conflict of, well, I don't think anyone, like, adheres to one exact label perfectly. But there's still that, there's that issue of, well, how do you live in a world where, everything is on a spectrum, while at the same time having words to define yourself, without, like, making yourself into, like, a giant paragraph of a descriptor? It's something even, like, it's something I don't even know how to deal with, to be honest. I'm more in the, like, I use very simple descriptors, and then if I get to know someone really well, I'll start to explain all my, like, all my little idiosyncrasies, or all the little things where it's like, well, I don't exactly, adhere to this because, here's this one exception, here's another exception. And I think that's a pretty decent way of doing it. Like, it's working for me so far, but then again, I'm pretty atypical. But then again, everyone's kind of atypical in their own way, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Instead of worrying about me, tell me about you. Okay. I really do like this. I like the idea that, yeah, like this entire time, it seems like Misora's been, I don't know how to put this. He deals with his own issues mostly by talking about other people's issues. Like, it's, by talking about other people, he's able to figure out things about himself. That's why he's so interested in Tasuku, and then like what's going on with Tasuku's internal turmoil. Partially because he might want to help, but partially also because it helps him figure out things for himself. That's just like a manga for girls. It's so boring. There's nothing wrong with that though. Like fuck it. Attraction is literally one of the biggest things when it comes to being in love with someone. It's one of the few things in this world where I think it's okay to be like to be I don't know, not vain, but I guess to appreciate the surface level of something, because we really don't have like it's possible to eventually grow to become attracted to someone once you understand who they are inside and to ignore what they look like. But it's very difficult. And I think that if 80% of love is, physical attraction to you specifically, then that's fine. Or if that's what'll get you if that's what, will kick off your attraction, and then you'll get to know that person better in the future. Well, I mean, I can't say that's a bad thing. That's just how we're wired. It's not the greatest, as are, most of the things that come with human wiring are not the best. They really aren't. They're regrettable. But it is how it is, right? Even if it starts off with physical attraction, it's love when you actually want to know more about the person. So then it's wrong to bat for the other team without some sort of dreamlike trigger. Yeah. Masora's being so damn it, Masora. I understand him perfectly though, because I do agree to an extent. It's so much easier to understand something when there is this very over the top revelation, or this very over the top trigger for why this thing is the way it is. If it's as subtle as just, well, one day I realized I like guys and I like this guy who's attractive to me, it's very hard to look at that and go oh, well, that's satisfying. It isn't. It is real, but it's not satisfying. Oh, this must be a little, homosexual LGBT thing. But yeah, Cat Clouder, it seems like it is going to be this queer collective, but it doesn't have to be. I do think there is some value in having a very open queer space that is also not explicitly queer inclusive, because it is very useful for someone who isn't sure about what they are to be able to go there and go well, if it turns out I'm straight, or if I'm a cishet, if I'm cishet, it doesn't mean I have to leave here, or I don't have to immediately try to differentiate myself in order to fit in here. I can just be me. I think that's super useful. Although I can totally respect the concept of a space that is queer exclusive, because not every space has to be 100% inclusive, basically. Gay people aren't zombies that walk around 24 hours a day thinking about love and dirty stuff. And again, if the cats are symbolic of anonymous, then this is sort of just saying, hey, you can't come here and talk shit. The power of anonymous compels you. Be gone, thought. Oh man, that's amazing. I love that. The flip from, her very surface level, bye, to Triangle Manor seems like a pretty cool name, to be fair. Okay, that's really cool. They're building almost this sort of unofficial network of places they've restored. That's super cool. Yeah, because I always assumed it was going to just be another lounge, but that would be very strange. I mean, Cat Clouder seems to be very not enormous, but very cozy. It'd be very strange if we had two separate areas where they can gather. If we were to then split split ourselves into two separate sort of collectives. That'd be very strange. God damn it, Tasuku. You're such a dick. Perfect. Absolutely perfect metaphor. Anonymous, please. Anonymous, please. That's a really interesting way of putting it, actually. She's grown up without being anyone. She isn't living as anyone. She can live like that. That is really cool in its own way, but it's very difficult. And I do think it's not that you have to be independently wealthy, but it's you have to either be independently wealthy, or you have to be the kind of person who doesn't want structure in their lives in order to not be anyone. Just by virtue of having to hang out with other people, or having to present a mask of yourself to to people at a job or something, or just even if you're homeless, like just, having to interact with other people or, having to live with yourself when you're all alone. You have to create a persona. You have to be someone. I've always fantasized to an extent about being, no one, about just being able to, do nothing. But I don't think I can commit to that life in the sense of like, well, I don't have the funds to live independently. And if I want to be, be no one while also relying on others, if I want to be, the mysterious guy who no one knows anything about, uh, yeah, it doesn't really attract me in any sense. I don't think it's a cool idea. I wish someone like that had been there for me. So, see, this also makes me think he would want to just turn into another lounge so he can be kind of the anonymous of that place. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, he's Toma's dad. Okay. So close to being outed. But in the end, I think this is a really important page, not because it was like, oh, it's a near miss, but also because it shows, like, yeah, he didn't really care that much. Like, he noticed, oh, it was a kid from my son's school, but it wasn't that important to him. It really wasn't. Oh, man. That does seem kind of bad. Oh, he's gonna get his own yukata. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Aw. Again, I guess he's looking at the goldfish right now and feeding it because, like, he's doing it for himself, or at the very least, he's convinced himself that he does it for himself. I think it's something like he feels like he can only do this in the house, or he can only do it in safety where no one else can see. And he doesn't really want that. Like, to some extent, he'd be happier if he could just do it out in the open where anyone could see it. Like, it's that idea of, well, I don't care about having a picture because it's not going to be happy. I don't want to be alone watching a picture of myself cross-dressing, which again, very relatable. I really do like how the festival lanterns are being used to frame this. It looks so good. It really does. Like, we just did like what could have been pages and pages and pages of just doing festival stuff in 1 2-page spread, and it worked perfectly. Oh man. Oh. Yeah, of course they wouldn't notice. I want to do stuff like this. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh man. Oh, this is going to be very difficult in its own way. Like, for both of them. She's a kid of one of my relatives. Um. Although I do really like that he didn't say, oh, my boyfriend, or, my girlfriend or anything. Specifically, so he can still, like, later on, if he ends up confessing, he doesn't have to go through the whole thing of, oh, by the way, that was just a friend. Like, it's already very clear it's just a friend. Yeah. It's such a simple thought, but yeah, it's so unfair that they can get close to him by just being normal girls. Again, it's this feeling of, like, you could say the same thing as a girl if you, like, looked at a bunch of guys and went, oh my gosh, they're so lucky that they can be near that guy by virtue of being guys. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. I feel like I need to apologize, but honestly, this is the most emotional I've ever been during a reaction. It's just that I cannot emote things. I might be a robot. Huh? Okay. What was that? What did he notice? Did someone grope you? Wait, what? Is that what that was? Oh god, that's what that was. What the fuck? God damn. I definitely get it though. Like, I can see why he would think this is an okay thing to say. Like, just to try and diffuse the situation, but that's real fucked up. That is actually really fucked up. I love the way that he's drawn right here. Like, you can feel the disgust just, like, rolling off of him. Oh, wow, okay. Also, what a fantastic, like, it's not even, it's a metaphor that is also literal. Like, it's so very literal. What are you doing? These goldfish are gonna die. If he keeps screaming homo the way he is, these goldfish are going to die. Or not even that, just the fact that they are having this argument. It's not even really an argument, it's just one person lashing out. And because of that, these goldfish are gonna die. Yeah, I guess he just needs to walk it off. Letting it out to Anonymous isn't gonna help right now. Oh shit, okay, he hasn't come for 3 days. Oh geez. Although, that's a really interesting way of saying, oh, by the way, Tasku also didn't show up at the lounge for 3 days. Uh, by the way, this is such a weird place to say it, but I really do like that Tasuku's nickname is Tasukun. Like, it's not even a pun, but it is. Sometimes it just isn't that simple. Like, you just have no idea. Rosora-san, now wasn't the right time. Yeah. Oh no, even the record isn't working properly. I really do like that the series, showed this. The feeling, like, not even the feeling, but just like an instance of someone pushing and it not working out. Like, just mostly because of one small little trigger that fucked everything up. The series does such a good job of mixing in literal things, but also metaphorical things that I thought, the house could literally fall apart on him right now, and it would make total sense, because it does feel like the world is falling apart to him. It's kind of cruel having to deal with someone else's problems in addition to having enormous problems of your own. But at times that can also be helpful. Like in the same way that Misura was dealing with his problems by digging into Tasuku's. In the same way, it's it's such a strange way of thinking about it. But sometimes the best way to get out of a problem is to put two more problems on top of yourself and let them crush you down until you feel like you're about to die. And then through being able to lash out, you're somehow able to beat all three of those problems together. This feels like it's going to resolve itself in that sort of way. Like Tasuku, in addition to having to deal with the weight of everything else he himself has been dealing with, by also having to find a way to help Misura as well, I think that is going to make something click within him. He's going to find a way to deal with everything, or he's going to find a solution that works well with multiple things, not just with one of these problems. Also, summer vacation ended just like that. That is very surprising. Yep, he's got tiny little hints of it. I don't know whether he's gay or not, though. It would make a lot of sense if he was, but I think at the very least, there might be something going on with him. See, I feel like it might be a bit too clean. Like, it might work out too well if he's also gay. But I could definitely see him showing up at the lounge at some points. Also, that was volume 2 of Shimanami Tasogare. Thankfully, I don't think I turned it into a whole, full-out blog this time. It was very, very good. I can't really rank the volumes because they are they feel too much like a full story to try to rank them individually. Even though they, both volumes dealt with very different things. I thought this volume was really, really good. I really enjoyed seeing this deep exploration of Misora as a person, and the fact that his cross-dressing is not clean cut. It isn't something with a clean question and answer. And I really like the fact that Misora is that Misora digging into Tasuku wasn't a malicious thing. It was him trying to figure things out himself. As we saw before, Misura's cross-dressing has no clear defined reason. And he was upset that Tasuku's gayness doesn't have a clearly defined reason. And part of that is because Misura, having a clearly defined reason would make it much more easy to understand. So Misura, by showing that he's upset by the fact that Tasuku doesn't really have a storyline to go along with his gayness, or a good storyline, one that is exciting or interesting, shows that he's also displeased with his own story, quote unquote. It's such a fantastic way to talk about a character, and I really do like that we spend more than a volume on him. It was basically this entire volume, and then I assume it's going to finish up in the next volume. But oh my god, what a series. What a fantastic series. Also, I'm glad that I finally understood what the goldfish are about, although, it's not that it was very subtle. But it didn't have to be. It really didn't have to be. Oh, what a fantastic series. That's all I can really say, so I'm going to stop right now. I'm definitely going to read Volume 3, and I'm going to read what is out of Volume 4. Hachimitsu Scans likes to put out series in terms of volumes, but I saw that they're putting out some of Volume 4, so I don't know if they're, just working through Volume 4 right now, it's already out, or if they decided to do the magazine for some reason for Volume 4, and that's why it's not all out all at once. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was better than the first reaction. Bye for now. Yeah.